Hello everyone, very good morning. I'm back with our daily newspaper current affairs. So without any delay, let's just see what do we have for the first news. So the first news today that we have is related to India and Vietnam style and how this is becoming stronger. This is what we are going to see. So this is a news because India and Vietnam are celebrating the 50th anniversary of their diplomatic relations. So that is why this is a news these days. Now India-Vietnam relations background. थोड़ा सा बैकग्राउंड हम जानने की कोशिश करते हैं कि कैसे इंडिया एंड वियतनाम की जो 50 इयर्स रहे हैं रिलेशनशिप के वो कैसे हैं कैसे पॉलिटिकल एंड सिक्योरिटी रिलेटेड एंगेजमेंट्स हैं क्या इम्पोर्ट एक्सपोर्ट वाली बेसिस है ऑल दैट वी आर गोइंग टू सी फर्स्ट इज कमोडिटी India's relation with Vietnam, some of which is based on a set of historical commodities, predate any conflict between India and China as well as that between China and Vietnam. So, ये जो इंडिया और वियतनाम के जो रिलेशंस हैं इन टर्म्स ऑफ कमोडिटी वो एक्चुअली हम कह सकते हैं कि वो एक प्रोडक्ट है जो इंडिया और चाइना के कॉन्फ्लिक्ट की वजह से आया है या फिर चाइना या वियतनाम के कॉन्फ्लिक्ट की वजह से ओके देन पॉलिटिकल एंड सिक्योरिटी एंगेजमेंट as India pursues its Act East policy, Vietnam has become a valuable partner in India's political and security engagements in the Indo-Pacific region. So, इंडिया की जो एक्ट ईस्ट पॉलिसी है उसमें वियतनाम बहुत ही वैल्यूएबल पार्टनर बना है इंडिया की पॉलिटिकल एंड सिक्योरिटी एंगेजमेंट में इंडो पैसिफिक रीजन नाउ ग्रोइंग कन्वर्जेंस बिटवीन इंडिया एंड वियतनाम तो दोनों देशों के बीच इतना तालमेल ये जो कन्वर्जेंस है वो कैसे convergence of strategic and economic interests. Bolstering friendship between the two countries is a natural outcome of a growing convergence of their strategic and economic interests, and also their common vision for peace, prosperity, and their people. So, ये जो friendship जब भी किसी दो देशों के बीच बढ़ती है, what they are trying to say वो एक्चुअली पैदा होती है उनके सेम इकोनॉमिक इंटरेस्ट की वजह से उनकी स्ट्रेटजीज की वजह से और जो उनका कॉमन विजन होता है पीस को लेकर प्रॉस्पेरिटी को लेकर फॉर देयर पॉपुलेशन उसकी वजह से कहीं ना कहीं ये सब होता है शेयर्ड स्ट्रेटेजिक कंसर्न द टू कंट्रीज are working to address shared strategic concerns such as energy security and open and secure sea lines of communication and make policy choice without undue external interference. So, दोनों ही countries के बीच में they are working to address these strategic concerns. जैसे कि एनर्जी सिक्योरिटी के रिलेटेड हो गया ओपन एंड सिक्योर सी लाइंस ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन से रिलेटेड हो गया एंड ऐसी पॉलिसीज बनाना जिसमें एक्सटर्नल इंटरफेरेंस कम से कम गिवन इंडिया ब्रॉडनिंग इकोनॉमिक एंड स्ट्रेटेजिक इंटरेस्ट इन द रीजन एंड वियतनाम्स डिजायर फॉर स्ट्रेटेजिक ऑटोनॉमी both countries will benefit from a stronger bilateral relationship. और एक्चुअली इंडिया का जो इकोनॉमी ब्रॉडन करने की जो स्ट्रेटजी है इंटरेस्ट है इन द रीजन एंड वियतनाम की जो डिजायर है स्ट्रेटेजिक ऑटोनॉमी, तो दोनों ही कंट्री कहीं ना कहीं एक दूसरे को अपने बायलैटरल रिलेशन से दे कैन बेनिफिट टू ईच अदर. Shared apprehension about China. India and Vietnam face territorial disputes with the shared apprehensions about their common neighbor China. So दोनों को ही दोनों country India and Vietnam, they both are facing territorial dispute China के साथ. So they have a common thing with this country called China. Now, Vietnam is of great strategic importance between its position enables it to control the South China Sea, a true Mediterranean of the Pacific. So, because of the position of Vietnam in the globe, it actually plays a very important role in the South China Sea. So you can have it on the in the map. You can see it in the map. The maritime domain, therefore, has become an essential element of India-Vietnam cooperation. Maritime means समुद्र से related, समुद्री. तो जो समुद्री एक डोमेन हो गया, वो एक बड़ा ही essential element हो गया इंडिया एंड वियतनाम cooperation. ठीक है. More importantly, India sees an open and stable maritime commons being essential to international trade and prosperity. Therefore, it has an interest in protecting the sea lane. Now, India का इसमें बड़ा ही interest है because for international trade and prosperity, we Indians, our country wants to have a protected and better sea lanes in order to have better international trade and to prosper in that field, and that is why this relationship is so good. There are some other potential areas for New Delhi and Hanoi to further deepen collaboration, such as meaningful academic and cultural collaboration, shipbuilding, maritime connectivity, maritime education and research, coastal engineering, the blue economy, maritime habitat conservation, and advanced collaboration between maritime security and agents. Now, ये कुछ और एरियाज है, ठीक है, जिसमें कि और भी अच्छे ये मतलब ये पोटेंशियल एरियाज है जिसमें और भी अच्छे रिलेशन किए जा सकते हैं, जैसे अकेडमिक्स एंड कल्चरल कोलैबोरेशन हो सकता है बिटवीन द टू कंट्री, शिप बिल्डिंग, जो मैरीटाइम कनेक्टिविटी पे काम हो सकता है, समुद्र से रिलेटेड जो एजुकेशन एंड रिसर्च एरिया है उस पर काम हो सकता है, कोस्टल इंजीनियरिंग पे, ब्लू इकोनॉमी मतलब पानी से मतलब समुद्र से रिलेटेड जो भी इकोनॉमिक एलिमेंट्स हो गए कि उससे कितना फिशिंग वगैरह होती है, क्या चीजें मिलती है, ऑल ऑफ दैट, marine habitat conservation, advanced collaboration between maritime security and agents. Okay, so these were the potential areas जिनमें कि दोनों countries का और भी ज्यादा collaboration potential दिखता है collaboration. Now, 4 factors responsible for growing maritime engagement with Vietnam. What are the 4 factors which are responsible है इंडिया और वियतनाम का maritime engagement grow करने? Number 1 is countering China. India's aspiration to counter an assertive China by strengthening Vietnam's military power. So basically, India is aspiring to, counter with China by what means by strengthening Vietnam's military power. So Vietnam की military power बढ़ेगी तो there is chances कि ऐसा हो सकता है. Security sea lines. With India's increasing trade with East and Southeast Asia, India has begun to recognize the importance of its sea lines of communication beyond its geographical proximity. The South China Sea occupies a significant geostrategic and geoeconomic position, resulting in India's renewed interest in the South China Sea. Now, what they are trying to say that India का जो increasing trade है ईस्ट के साथ या साउथ ईस्ट एशिया के साथ, उसने कहीं ना कहीं इंडिया को रिकॉग्नाइज करने पे सी लाइन की जो इम्पोर्टेंस है और उसमें जो ज्योग्राफिकल एलिमेंट है उसके अलावा जो प्रॉक्सिमिटी है अमंग दीज सी लाइंस, उसकी इम्पोर्टेंस कहीं ना कहीं बताई है. एंड जो साउथ चाइना सी है वो फिर एक बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट सिग्निफिकेंट रोल प्ले कर जाता है इन दी जियो इकोनॉमिक पोजिशन. एंड फिर और इसकी वजह से जो इंडिया का इंटरेस्ट है इन साउथ चाइना सी वो कहीं ना कहीं बढ़ जाए. ओके. Now the third point is development in maritime domain. India desires to intensify its presence to track potential developments in the maritime domain that could affect its national interest. So, India actually is trying to intensify its presence, कि अपनी प्रेजेंस को ज्यादा और इंटेंसिफाई करे, दिखाएं, ताकि जो डेवलपमेंट्स पोटेंशियल डेवलपमेंट्स है इन दिस डोमेन मैरीटाइम डोमेन में उसको ट्रैक किया जा सके. एंड ये कहीं ना कहीं बट जो नेशनल इंटरेस्ट है इंडिया का उसको अफेक्ट करता. नेक्स्ट इज नेवल पार्टनरशिप. द इंडियन नेवी अंडरलाइज द इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ a forward maritime presence and naval partnership that would be critical to deter potential adversaries. Okay. So India's maritime strategic interests in the region are well established, including the fact that almost 55% of India's trade with the Indo-Pacific region passes through the South China Sea. So India का जो 55% ट्रेड है जो कि इंडो पैसिफिक रीजन से पास होता है जो कि साउथ चाइना सी के थ्रू भी आता है. So that is why India's interest is even increasing. Now, strategic and defense cooperation. Ever since the formal declaration of a strategic partnership in 2007 and comprehensive strategic partnership in 2016, the scope and scale of India-Vietnam strategic and defense cooperation, particularly in the maritime domain, it's deepening with a clear vision, institutional mechanism. So, जब से formal declaration हुई है of this strategic partnership in 2007 और comprehensive strategic partnership है 2016 में, जो scope and scale है इंडिया वियतनाम स्ट्रेटेजी का वो और डिफेंस कोऑपरेशन का वो स्पेशली समुद्र के जो एरिया है उसमें काफी ज्यादा बढ़ गया है. उनका एक क्लियर विजन हो गया. दिस signing of joint vision for defense cooperation and a memorandum of understanding on mutual logistics support in June 2022 has further strengthened mutual defense cooperation. joint vision for defense cooperation and a memorandum of understanding जो कि म्यूचुअल लॉजिस्टिक सपोर्ट में जून 2022 में साइन हुआ था, और इसने कहीं ना कहीं जो म्यूचुअल कॉपरेशन है उसको और कहीं ना कहीं इंक्रीज कर दिया. Enhancing Vietnam's defense capacities. While a $100 million defense line of credit has been implemented, US में, India has also announced early finalization of another $500 million defense line of credit to enhance Vietnam's defense capacity. So India ने ये ऐलान किया है वियतनाम की जो डिफेंस कैपेसिटी है उसको इंक्रीज करने. New Delhi has also agreed to expand military training and assess the Vietnam's Navy strike capacities. So India ने मिलिट्री ट्रेनिंग देने के लिए वियतनाम को and assist करने के लिए नेवी को हेल्प किया. Now with this we come to an end to that particular news. Now the second news today that we have is related to the heat wave that we are experiencing these days. Not just we, but there is so much other part of the world in which it is happening. The sweltering heat wave across Europe. Okay, it is basically about Europe. So places in Europe, UK and US are experiencing extreme heat wave conditions. So now what is heat wave actually? According to the World Meteorological Organization, a heat wave refers to 5 or more consecutive days during which the daily maximum temperature exceeds the average maximum temperature by 5 degrees Celsius. So ये क्या है? वर्ल्ड मेट्रोलॉजिकल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के अकॉर्डिंग हीट वेव क्या है? कोई भी 5 या उससे ज्यादा दिन लगातार जब जो मैक्सिमम टेम्परेचर है वो एवरेज टेम्परेचर से एक्सीड कर जाए 5 डिग्री सेल्सियस तक, उसको हीट वेव कहते हैं. A heat wave is qualitatively a condition of air temperature which becomes fatal to the human body under exposure. Now, what are the reasons for these extreme heat waves? Experts suggest that the prevalence of this extreme heat wave condition is a result of climate change caused due to anthropogenic activity. जो मानव द्वारा किए गए काम है उनकी वजह से क्लाइमेट चेंज होता है और उसकी वजह से हीट वेव होता है. Studies have already shown that a 1 degree rise in temperature increases the chances of the UK experiencing over 40 degree temperatures. Wait, give me a second. Yeah. Okay. An increase in global temperature, mainly on account of climate change, has increased the temperature in Antarctic by over 15 degree and over 3 degree in the Arctic region, which has been impacting the global wind pattern. So, जो global temperature में rise हुआ, उसकी वजह से जो हमारा climate change है, वो कहीं ना कहीं temperature बढ़ा रहा है. And in Antarctic region 15 degree तक बढ़ चुका है temperature and Arctic में 3 degree, and because of which actually the global जो wind pattern है हमारा that is being impacted. Now prevalence of heat dome conditions refer to a low pressure area that begins to attract hot air from northern Africa. So heat dome you understand it has this kind of shape. Let me just draw it here. So it has this kind of shape. Circular होता है ये. Okay, so this kind of shape, what happens actually, इसमें low pressure area होता है that actually attracts hot air. Okay, so जब ये hot air को attract करता है तो temperature raise. Okay, this is ये पूरा. The extreme pressures in US are said to be due to the changes in the jet stream, which is a narrow band of westerly air currents that circulated several kilometers above the Earth's surface. Okay? So scientists believe that the jet stream has weakened and has been split into two, causing more intense and frequent heat waves over the American continent. साइंटिस्ट का ये मानना है कि जो जेट स्ट्रीम है वो वीक होकर दो में स्प्लिट हो गई, दो पार्ट्स में डिवाइड हो गई, और इसकी वजह से ही जो अमेरिकन कॉन्टिनेंट है वो ज्यादा हीट वेव एंड इंटेंसिफाई एंड फ्रीक्वेंट हीट वेव को एक्सपीरियंस कर रहा. Now, what are the impact of extreme heat wave? Okay, let's try to understand. The extreme heat coupled with dry weather has causes wildfires that have destroyed about 19,000 hectares of forest in France, with several people being displaced. So this is one of the impacts in the France that जो वाइल्ड फायर है जिसने कि लगभग 19,000 हेक्टेयर फॉरेस्ट को है वो डिस्ट्रॉय कर दिया है और बहुत सारे लोगों को डिस्प्लेस होना पड़ा है. Portugal has experienced over 250 blazes over a period of 2 days and has reported 650 deaths due to heat-related illness in a span of 1 week. So, Portugal में भी ये condition है. 14,000 hectares of land were destroyed in Spain due to fires, and about 360 deaths were caused by extreme heat. Italy has been witnessing severe drought, with the Po River Basin, which is considered one of the Europe's food bowls, not having received any rainfall in about 200 days. And Italy में जो रेनफॉल है 200 दिन से बिल्कुल भी बारिश नहीं हुई है, और जो पो रिवर बेसिन है जो कि यूरोप को फूड बोल बोला जाता है बिकॉज वहां पे अच्छी उपज होती है, दैट इज ऑल्सो experiencing drought. The temperatures have reached 43 degrees Celsius in some regions of America, and nearly 69 million Americans are at risk of exposure to extreme level of heat and heat-related illness. ठीक है, तो इतना ज्यादा टेम्परेचर राइज हो गया है. This prevalence of heat wave at a time when there is a rise in fuel cost caused due to the ban on Russia gas is in the wake of the conflict in Ukraine invasion has aggravated the situation. एक तो फ्यूल महंगा है, ऊपर से टेम्परेचर भी बढ़ता जा रहा है, so कहीं ना कहीं this has created a very difficult situation. Extreme heat conditions have also impacted the water tables and have caused a reduction in the soil moisture, which will have severe implications on agriculture and energy security. So, because of this heat condition, the impact is that the जो soil का moisture है वो reduce हो रहा है, because of which agriculture will get negatively affected. Energy security like hydropower, all that will get affected. So these are the impacts of extreme heat waves, which are very, very negative in the sense. Okay, so with this we have come to an end to this news also, that what are heat waves, what are the areas which are being affected by a heat wave, what are the impact of heat waves. Okay, now there is this news related to saving mothers. Now what is this news? A recent study published in PLOS Global Public Health Journal. PLOS is it's basically a journal which is related to science. Details, what are the details? The study published in PLOS Global Public Health provides insight on the level of progress of healthcare targeting women in the country, and also questions the reliability of country's own periodic estimates of maternal mortality ratio or MMR. So what is this maternal mortality ratio? It is basically when a woman is pregnant and while the process of delivery, there are some women which are due to complications in pregnancy, they die. So this is actually about that ratio. Okay. Give me a sec. Yeah. So shortly we will call it MMR. MMR refers to number of mothers who die from complications in pregnancy for every 1 lakh live births. So the ratio is basically the number of women who have died with the per lakh birth. So on every per lakh birth of children, how many women have died? So that is the basic MMR ratio. Okay. Now, maternal mortality reflects a woman's ability to access healthcare, contraceptive devices, and nutrition, and indicates the efficiency of a healthcare system. And this somewhere reflects जो एक woman की ability है to actually access the healthcare, कितना वो उसको health facilities मिलती हैं, if she's getting contraceptive devices or not, proper nutrition मिल रहा है या नहीं, एंड ओवरऑल कहीं ना कहीं जो पूरा हेल्थ केयर सिस्टम है उसकी एफिशिएंसी को इंडिकेट करता है दिस रेशियो. Experts of International Institute for Population Science have collected data from various records of maternal deaths under the Health Management Information System, census data, and the sample registration system, and have provided the MMR for all states and districts in India. So all these, institutions and centers and system, they have collected data and they have then provided the MMR for all the states and districts. Now, what is the data on MMR in our country? Let's just have a look on this. So over 70% of districts in India have reported MMR of more than 70 deaths. So this means that over more than 70% of the districts that we have in our country, most of them have reported more than 70 deaths. So per lakh children, there are more than 70 deaths. Controlling the MMR to less than 70 deaths is one of the targets set under the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. India's MMR is reducing at 4.5% annually, but to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals targets, the drop rate should be 5.5%. So, जो MMR की reduction है, वो तो 4.5% है annually. But if you want to achieve the SDG goals, then we need to have, it must be 5.5% reduction every year. So we are still 1% behind. Districts in South India and Maharashtra have performed better in this aspect, whereas the performance of Northeast state and Central region is quite poor. Huge interstate disparity was seen even in better performing states such as Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, and Telangana. As per the data from SRS 2016-18, only Assam, which is 215, had an MMR of over 200. But the district level assessment has revealed that over 130 districts have reported about 200 MMR. Okay, this is huge. Further, the study revealed that it is Arunachal Pradesh that has the country's highest MMR, which is 284, and not Assam as per the government survey. So then it was, found out that it is actually Arunachal Pradesh, which is having 284 deaths per lakh children. Maharashtra has reported the lowest, which is 40. So in Maharashtra, there are 40 deaths per lakh children. Okay, so now what is the way forward in this regard? So India should look to improve the overall care for women, and it is important to assess the real-time progression of such crucial death outcomes. Okay, so this is something which is, which shows our overall pictures of the healthcare system that we have in our country. In order to, make it better, we need to do a lot of improvements, and the number must be decreased. The findings of the report also call for immediate action to meet the SDG goals regarding MMR, which can be achieved by improving access to contraceptives, antenatal care, post-delivery healthcare, body mass index, and economic status. So all these things must be taken care of, and proper access hona chahiye to all these things in order to achieve the SDG regarding maternity mortality rate. Okay, so this was the news. Now we move to the questions for today. Okay, so the first question I have is actually it is a news, but I have brought in the form of question. So we will be trying to understand and answer the question. Followed by this, I'll tell you in short about the news that we have. So we have three statements in front of us. We'll look to these statements and we'll try to find out the correct ones. The cheetah was declared extinct in India in the year 1952 and is the only wild cat to go extinct in independent India. Financial and administrative support for the cheetah reintroduced program in India would be provided by the National Tiger Conservation Authority of India. Next, cheetah are mostly associated with grasslands, scrubland, and open forest type wildlife habitats. Okay, so which of these are correct? The options that you have is 1 and 2 only, 2 and 3 only, 1 and 3 only, and 1, 2, and 3. So the correct option is actually B, because all of them are correct. Let's try to see the explanation, and then 1 is correct because the cheetah was declared extinction in 1952. This is correct. Statement 2 is also correct because the financial administrative support for the cheetah reintroduction program in India would be provided by through the National Tiger Conservation Authority of India. Okay. Now, statement 3 is also correct because they are mostly associated with grassland, scrubland, and open forest ecosystem. Now, what is the news actually? The news is that the cheetah is likely to arrive in Cunard before August 15th. So India now is India is now a step closer to reintroducing the cheetahs in the country, as an agreement was signed between Union government and the Namibian Deputy Prime Minister. So Namibia is a country in Africa. The cheetahs were declared extinct in 1952, and the agreement will help the relocation of cheetahs from southern Africa to Kuno National Park in Madhya Pradesh. So they are being settled in Kuno National Park, which is in Madhya Pradesh. The agreement aims to provide the conservation and restoration of cheetahs in their former range from which the species went extinct, and will help to revive the ecological dynamics of the landscape. So this somewhere will promote the conservation and restoration of cheetah. Okay. Now, according to officials, plan for the cheetah translocation to Kunur are in compliances with the IUCN's guidelines, with the main focus on the forest site quality, prey density, and the current carrying capacity for a large mammal like cheetah. So अभी क्या हो रहा है, जो IUCN गाइडलाइंस है उनके अकॉर्डिंग काम करने की कोशिश जा रही है, जिसमें कि मेन फोकस किया जा रहा है कि जो फॉरेस्ट साइट क्वालिटी है वो अच्छी हो, शिकार के लिए अच्छी और जानवरों की पॉपुलेशन हो, जो कैपेसिटी है एरिया की चीते जैसे मैमल को कैरी करने के लिए वो भी अच्छी. Okay, so with this we have come to an end to our daily current affairs session for today. I'll meet you people soon tomorrow with the next session that we are going to have tomorrow. And till then, I hope you will keep studying and work hard.